What are we doing? We're out in Urington, Nevada. Out in the middle of nowhere.
I've been saying Montana for the past 2 or 3 days.
You're like, I don't even know where I'm at anymore. You guys are actually playing in the middle of a bunch of onion fields.
Really?
That's what those are out there. They're onion fields. We're in Urington, Nevada. I'm hanging out with Catfish from Old 60, and he's about to throw me down a sweet tattoo. Should I tell him what it is, or just do a reveal later?
Whatever you think.
Let's just tell him. Yeah, so I wanted to get a cigarette and a lighter tattooed on me for smoking a light, obviously. And I just feel like it's a cool little full circle moment, you know? First time I ever heard Old 60 was smoking a light, and I just think it's a cool thing.
We was at Kobe's, we would always meet at Kobe, our bass player's house, and like to leave, in our bus we had a Sprinter van, okay? And we hadn't seen like any videos or anything yet, and we was on our way there one time, and it was like, oh, somebody did like a reaction to smoking a light. Like, I bet this is pretty cool. And we put it on, and it was your video on that. I was like, dude, no way, this is awesome. It was like a surreal moment.
Yeah.
Like, that's whenever it felt like, okay, like this is really starting to do something here.
Yeah. And what's crazy too is I went back and looked the other day. That video had you guys had I think 500 subscribers.
That's crazy.
When I did it, and that video only had like 5,000 views. And I normally don't touch like a reaction video unless it's like doing pretty well,
Yeah.
But when I heard it, I was like, I gotta react to this. It just gave me a really cool feeling, and I did. And then it was like the next day, that video of mine was just like blowing up.
Blew up. And
what the craziest thing to me was like, I was like, I have more views on my reaction than like their actual music video does.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was crazy. And then it wasn't like less than 5 days later, it just popped over 1 million. Your guys' video did. And I was like, yeah, I had a certain feeling about that one. I knew it was going to go. And it was just cool how, like, after that, you guys all came to the studio, and I got to jam a song with you guys. It was cool how it all worked out organically,
Yeah, it was such a full circle moment. Like, whenever we got there, we didn't know we were coming there until, well, I didn't. I stay out of the loop. I just try to, on the back burner, and just like wake up places and like, oh yeah, this is cool. We're here. And they had talked about us coming down there, and I wasn't sure where it was. And they were like, hey, we're doing Fischtank tomorrow. I was like, oh, dude, this is gonna be sick. And just being in that studio was like seeing where you did that video at, and because like we watched those videos all the time.
Yeah.
When you did Rose and stuff, we were like, oh, dude, if we send it in a group chat, like, dude, Fischtank did another video on us, and it was so cool being able to meet you that day, and then come out for that show too. That was awesome.
Yeah, man, it was just a full circle moment, and it just felt like all of it felt organic.
Mm-hmm.
Like
None
I
of it
wasn't
felt
messing
rushed.
with a label or anything, or it wasn't like a paid reaction. It was just like something I felt like I needed to do, and then you guys all came around, and it was just, yeah, it was completely organic. It was super awesome. So that's why we getting a smoke and a light today.
Now we're getting a tattoo, and what state is this again?
Nevada. Yep. Yeah, we're about 4 hours away from the studio right now.
So the drive wasn't too bad though?
No, it was a good drive. Like I said, the scenery's like really pretty on the way here. It's funny because the roads in California are so shit. Like, they suck, dude. And like, there's a big old sign that says "Welcome to Nevada," and right when you see that sign, the asphalt just turns nice. So it's like when you get to that point, the drive isn't too bad after that. But that Highway 80, man, it's terrible. Especially when you're in a big truck, you feel every little bump.
Oh yeah, I looked outside when y'all were getting your camera stuff. I was like, oh my god, he drove that all the way here.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a Sprinter. I think that's going to be my next move, and I just want to be able to have like a nice mobile rig so I can have all my equipment in it and do like,
just be able to go if you want to go to a convention or not a convention, a
concert, whatever.
concert.
Yeah, just have a portable audio and video rig set up. And, something like this we could do inside the Sprinter,
That would be cool.
What's the craziest thing you've ever tattooed?
That's a really good question. There's been quite a bit that I was like, I don't know. I moved from like a street shop to more of a like sit down, book an appointment kind of thing pretty early in my career. So I was fortunate enough to not have to do a lot of crazy stuff. One wild thing was my first face tattoo I did. This gentleman came in, he had just got off work, and the owner of the shop was like, hey, this guy's coming in, like, Catfish, you want to knock it out real quick? Right on, that'll work. And came in, he was like, yeah, I want a Naruto, or Naruto, however you pronounce it.
Like
the cloud thing?
Yeah.
And I was like, sure, man, we'll knock it out, no problem. He didn't tell me where he was getting it at, so he was like, oh, like that big maybe? And I drew it up and came to him, and he like held it up to the mirror on his face. And I was like, bro, are you sure about this? And I had never did one. And he was like, yeah, for sure. I'm getting it. I was like, all right, dude. And I set up and went back, and there's this guy named Cody Kane I was working with. And I was like, dude, I've never did one of these. And he was like, trust me, man, you got it. And I sat down, and I hadn't been nervous for a tattoo in a long time. And got ready to do it, like hands almost trembling, And I was trying to keep conversation and stuff while I was doing it. I was like, man, so what made you want, do you just like Naruto, just trying to make small talk? And he was like, yeah, I'm actually working out of town. This was in Kentucky,
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, my wife, I told her that if she dyed her hair pink, that I was getting a Naruto face tattoo, and she didn't believe me. And I was like, oh no, And no, I had already started it. There was no going back. And he did not tell her he was at the shop, no nothing, and then FaceTimed her after he got it done.
Oh no.
And I could, like, the mirror was probably like, it was like a couple booths down, maybe 10, 15 feet, and you could just hear her yelling. And I was like, oh no, I had just destroyed this guy's life.
What'd you do? Yeah, my tattoo artist, his face is covered in tattoos, but he always tells me he doesn't like tattooing other people's faces, and he always talks people out of it too.
I try every chance I get, I try to talk somebody out of it. That, and if they're like if they're younger, like right out of high school, or even some in high school want me to do like throat or their hands or something, I'm like, man, this is a big commitment. Like this cross on my hand, I put that stencil on and wore it around for a couple days before I was like could fully commit to it.
I only have booger here on the inside of my finger, and cause my mom always was like supportive of my tattoos. She didn't care. Like she even had paid for a couple of them.
Heck yeah.
But she always said like, just promise me you won't get any on your hands or your face. And so I promised her I wouldn't. And she gave me the nickname Booger when I was born. And so I called her one day. I said, Mom, I got a tattoo on my hand. And she started like crying and like was upset.
Oh, no.
And then I sent her a picture of what it was, and she's like, "Oh, that's okay," because it was what she calls me. And but I never got any on my face. I wouldn't mind doing my hands though, because like now I'm in a position where I'm like, I don't think I'm ever gonna go back to like a 9 to 5.
Yeah, that's what. Whenever I like fully committed to tattooing, that's whenever I did get that hand. But my ex-Fish logo, I actually have it tattooed, my socks covering it now, but I actually stenciled it out and put it underneath my eye, It was like, this would be so awesome. And like, oh, it is a face tattoo, but it's means something to me. And it's like this whole brand that I'm building, you know? And I ended up talking myself out of it, and was like, I know this is what I want to do for life, but I don't know, like, I still want to be somewhat, I don't know. It was a weird thing, like a battle going on in my head. But yeah, that hand tattoo, the cross, my papaw, growing up, he had like a silhouetted cross on his hand. And we always thought that was like the coolest thing, you know? And he kept telling us like, oh, it was this gang I was in, and like me and my buddies were the leaders, and we would go out and he would tell me and my cousins like all these stories and stuff. We thought that was the coolest thing ever. So I got that, and then came home, and he had passed in like 2012, and I lived with my grandma. I got home and I was like, she's gonna love this tattoo, you know? And I showed her and I was like, look, man, like I'm in Papaw's gang now. And she was like, no, like I think your Papaw got somebody's name tattooed there, and I made him put that cross there. Like, so now, like, at first I was like, complete meltdown. I was like, oh no, but then I was like, that's pretty cool. I got my Papaw's like wise tale story, you know, to commemorate now.
Were you glad you didn't get the one on the face?
I don't
like
regret.
Right now, are you happy that you didn't do it?
Yeah, I really don't regret not getting it for sure. And I haven't ever touched, you know, the neck or anything like that yet, and I don't think I'm pretty happy with what I have right now. And of course there's like a lot of stuff I would do different, like I'm starting to cover all of this up now, but I wish I would have waited probably a little bit longer and not got as many tattoos.
Oh dude, like, so growing up, like my mom didn't care like if I pierced my ears or whatever. My dad hated it. And I remember I got my tongue pierced one day, like in high school. My dad was so pissed off. And then I remember telling him, like, well, you better get used to it, because as soon as I turn 18, I'm getting tattoos and everything. And he's all, if you ever get a tattoo, you can't live in this house, blah, 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 you know? And then, man, the day I turned 18, I just went wild. And I just, crazy like, I pretty much had a full sleeve, like, you know, a couple months into being 18. And then my dad, like, when I got this compass right here with I got the music note for the north direction. Like when I got that compass, when it was brand new, it was just so vibrant and pretty. And my dad was like, I really like that.
Heck yeah.
I really like that. And then he started liking them, you know, and started like opening up to the art.
These are the needles I'll use. They're sterilized in ethanol oxide gas. They're good in this package to open them, or they get to 28 in 2028.
Nice.
But they, I grew up in a really religious, like Pentecostal house. And my first ever tattoo, me and some buddies threw this party, and I woke up and went to school the next day, and my hand was like hurting and itching. I was like, what is this? And he came up to me in school and was like, how's your tattoo feeling? And I was like, oh no. I was like 15. I was like, how am I going to hide this from everybody in my family? And somehow he did it in purple ink, so it was enough to make it look like maybe this was done in Sharpie.
Like, oh, I was just doodling around at school every day, the same thing.
Oh, you want to check this out and make sure?
Let's go, man. Can you see that, babe? Nice.
I think it's gonna be really cool. And finally, ended up telling my dad, like, hey, Dad, this is...
Hold on 1 second. Oh, I'm losing it. Getting old. I gotta stretch out for a second. All right. My hip feels like it's gonna pop out or something.
My dad was super cool about it, though. He was very, very supportive of everything, and that's actually how like I got into music. Was he played in a Christian band, and they like cut an album, and he was doing pretty good. He charted in Christian music, and he was always supportive of everything you know that I did. So that was a really cool thing.
Well, that's good.
If he was still here, he would definitely be on. He'd be freaking out right now. But you ready?
Yep.
He would definitely be teching, or I'd find him something to do.
It's crazy now. These guns, they're all wireless and everything.
Yeah, this would suck if I had to like had the wires
Yeah.
coming out. And
So that was your dad. You said that when did he pass away?
he passed away in, I believe it was 2017. It's
Uh-huh.
kind of a freak accident actually. He was driving and driving to work one morning, and a tree uprooted out of the ground and fell on his car
No way.
as it was driving by. And he somehow, like, they found him and he was like pretty gone by that point, and he ended up surviving. And they it like crushed his trachea, and it messed him up really bad. Like he was messed up pretty good. And they ended up life flighting him, and he did survive, but died like less than a year later from complications.
Just complications, yeah. Dang, I'm sorry to hear that. And how old were you?
I was right at 19, 20.
Dang.
And my mom, she when I was 4, it was kind of like, it's like hard to say one without talking about the other.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was 4, they was moving a trailer up at my house, and we had like these 3, like my grandma lived in one, my aunt and uncle lived in one, and we lived in the other. And we had just got this brand new one and was moving it up, and they were jacking it up to put the water lines under it, and the jack slipped, and she ended up passing that way.
Wow.
So it's like I never really minded talking about it because like I didn't really know her too well, you know.
Yeah,
But it is wild that both was like a freak accident, you know.
That's pretty crazy. And then, yeah, like I mean, I still have my father, but my mom passed away a couple years ago, and I felt like she was pretty young. You know, she was only 61.
61.
And it was just like right when I was about to start doing really good with YouTube too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I always just like wonder, like I hope she's like looking down, seeing what
Yeah.
I'm doing, you know. Like when I played with you guys, when I played with Zach Bryan, I was just like, man, I hope she sees what I'm doing right now, because she'd
she
be
would think
super
this is
proud,
so cool,
you know.
Yeah.
And
That's what helps me going on the road a whole lot was the not necessarily the what ifs, because like if you focus on that, I feel like that's what people will bring, you know, that's what brings people down about it. And I just at a young age just figured that like I could sit and mourn about it, or I could just do what I think they would be happy about.
yeah,
And it's something so cool now to just like sit and think, like, not necessarily what if, but like do stuff that I know for sure they would be like, damn, that's cool.
yeah, like and you just it always sucks, but it's like the world keeps moving, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, my studio where it's at now, the owner of that that building, his wife, she passed away last year. But when my mom had passed away, like I didn't make any YouTube videos for like a month probably, and I was just kind of just taking a break and soaking it all in, you know. And I remember she came over to my studio one day and like was like, "Can I sit on your couch?" You know. And she's like a really stern older woman. And how old was she? 70 something, 77, somewhere in there. And she came and sat down on my couch and she said, "Greg, I know you're upset. Your mom is gone, but the world keeps spinning, so you got to keep moving." And I'm like, for some reason, that just like kicked me into gear, and I started working harder than I ever did before, you know. And it's pretty wild.
I have my my mom's brother, my uncle. He was there through like through my mother, you know, and everything like that, obviously, but through dad too. And he kind of was that that like father figure in my life that I really needed. And now me and my wife just moved back to our hometown, and he lives like 10 blocks away maybe.
Oh, cool.
So it's so cool now. Me and him was actually in a band together for like 13 years.
Oh, wow.
So we were all just really close, and like his sons, my cousins, were more like my brothers, you know. And so now it's really cool having, like, even though my dad and mom is gone, still having that structure there.
Yeah,
still being able to call them and be like, hey, like y'all want to cook out or like what are y'all doing today?
Yeah.
And,
it's crazy talking about these painful stories while a needle's getting sent through my skin.
yeah, it really revs up
it's pretty wild,
So what was your first tattoo? Was it with the compass?
No, it was this heartogram right here.
The him?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
That was my very first tattoo. I was like skater kid. I loved him. I loved Bam Margera.
Bam Margera, dude.
Like he was my idol, dude. So,
Same
like,
here. I thought I was him in like 4th grade.
Yeah,
dude.
that's what got me started with cameras, bro. Like skateboarding and filming dumb stuff,
Yeah.
I feel like me and my buddy Rob were already doing that, but he was like what made me really want to get like a good camera and learn how to edit. And
I think every kid in like the early 2000s wanted to have a skateboard and like one of those handheld video cameras.
Oh, that was me getting in trouble, bro. Flinging my skateboard out into the street while cars running over.
Hell yeah. We did the rope pull.
Yeah.
When cars are coming and you would like pulling the rope.
Yeah. We used to put like beer cans on fishing line.
Oh, yeah.
And so when they would drive by, they wouldn't see the fishing line, but there was beer cans on each side of the street tied to it. And so it would catch their bumper, and then it would just like wrap around their car, and beer cans would be dragging on the backside of their car.
Yeah.
And they would stop hella fast and freak out
no.
and take off running. But yeah, that was my very first tattoo was the heartogram.
I feel like we grew up in about the same scene of stuff. When the skateboarding
skateboarding.
That was the 2000s, I feel like, dude. And Tony Hawk, like, that was... It like did more than define a generation. It just like made
just
so
totally
many people.
Shaped us, man. It was like a really good outlet too for like, especially kids that like got in trouble.
Yeah,
and then you have like, these people to look up to. And, like that's why right now, like I don't know if you follow Bam Margera on social media.
He's doing so good, dude.
I'm so happy for him. Like I get like my hair will stand up just thinking about it because it's like. Someone I've probably watched every single thing he's done, all
of his Philadelphia,
videos, the Viva La Bam, like even like the Element skate videos, the audio skate videos.
We've got a CKY, I think, in the trailer or in the bus right now.
Yeah, so seeing him do good now, like I feel like he's skating almost maybe better than he used to.
Yeah,
and he's like just in his 40s and
just went back to the root of it. Everything got clean and everything.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Tony Hawk Pro Skater nerd. That's like my favorite game, and that just playing it with my brother and like it just brings back so many good memories.
Yeah, me and my buddy Ken, we were ranked on Tony Hawk 4. And it was like you played with a dial-up connection, and
heck yeah,
I remember like one trick, dude. It would take like 30 minutes just to do one trick, because we just
get one combo
we got
in.
So good at that game. My buddy Kenny, he's still good at it.
I was ranked 80 something at speed running underground, the first underground. But 4 was one of my favorites, and they was recreating it. They just came. I think it just released.
It just came out, yeah.
And I was like, hey, it's not gonna be the same without Bam in it, dude. Like it's gonna be cool. And it's kind of how I felt about the last Jackass that came out. I was like, man, Bam was just like all the other skaters were cool, like Rodney Mullen doing all this shit, but like but Bam had just had that cool factor about him, And I seen where they like put it on halt until Bam was able to be in the game. I was like, that's so awesome.
I was super excited about that.
He
deserves it, man. I mean, even if he's messing up in life, it's like maybe something like that help him.
Yeah.
It
looks like it really did. I mean, I follow. I'm a big wrestling nerd too, of course. But there's a wrestler named Darby Allin, who I'm like. It's almost like the Bam Margera today. He's a pro skateboarder too, and a professional stuntman. So like seeing him wrestle is awesome. But he posted a video of him flying out to go skate with Bam, like right before.
What federation is he in? Is that like WWE?
In AEW.
AEW.
But I seen him. He like flew out and went and skated with Bam, and I was like, like Bam might be. This might be a turning point, And
That's
then
awesome.
all of this happened like about a year later.
Wrestling, man. R.I.P. Hulk. R.I.P. Ozzy Osbourne, bro.
Dude,
Wild.
When the oh my god.
Need some water?
I'm on a spit real quick. Needed that. Gotta dip it.
What do you chew?
Grizzly Wintergreen.
There you go.
But so we was in Idaho. We had a couple days off, and we were shooting some content, and we had been out on this like waterfall trail all day, and we got back in the car to go back to the Airbnb, and Jade's mom texted and said like, "How's Catfish?" And she was like, he's doing good. And none of us had service, out there on that. And she was like, well, I was wondering because like Ozzy passed away. And she told me, and all the guys were in the car, and I was like, did Ozzy Osbourne die? And they were like, no, dude. And they looked it up, and sure enough, he did. And we got back to the Airbnb, man, and I was like trying to hold it in. And I put on a couple of videos and just sat there and watched the Ordinary Man video in particular. I just sitting, it's like him sitting in this theater, man, just watching his life. And I'm like, I started crying, dude. Man. I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, I woke up that morning, and then Adam Blank from Live at the Print Shop, he messaged me, R.I.P. Ozzy, and I'm like, wait, what? So then I got online, and it was everywhere. I was like, no way. And right away, I got like an overwhelming sadness because that was like some of the first songs I learned on the guitar, like Crazy Train, Diary of a Madman, like, Paranoid, Black Sabbath.
Oh, yeah.
And I was sad, but then like I started thinking about like that farewell show that he just had and how all those bands came together, and it just like, that felt like a celebration of life to me. It felt like a live funeral,
That is exactly.
So, like, all of a sudden I had all these happy feelings overwhelm and outweighed like the sad feelings.
Yeah.
And it's like just like really thankful that we got all those years of music, man.
That and like when it goes back to earlier when I was talking about being Pentecostal. So Ozzy Osbourne obviously was not the one, dude. And my uncle that I previously talked about, he was big into rock and roll. And he was like, I was real young. He used to watch those VH1 classic videos and stuff on Dish Network. And he goes, boys, get in here. Y'all got to see this. And we went in there, and it was Zach. It was Miracle Man, them playing in that church. And I was like 6 maybe. It was like, oh my God, like this is what I need to do.
This is amazing.
And then fast forward, so I was about 13 or 14 maybe. We didn't talk about that stuff at my house. Like my uncle's was totally different, but we didn't talk about rock and roll in my house. It was around Christmas time, and my sister was really good at talking my dad and stepmom into letting us opening up a gift early. And there was a CD case under there. Like, I could tell what it was, and I shook it. I knew there was a CD in there. I was like,
doing the weight test and all that. Yeah.
I was like, did they get me like a Jimmy Swaggart essential set or something? I was like, why? What could they possibly get me of a CD, And I talked to her. I was like, Faith, you got to go in there. Like, let them just open one. It was about 2 weeks before Christmas. And she came back in there. She was like, Bub, we only get to open one. I was like, hell, my plan worked. Like Daddy's girl was able to pull the plug for me. And I went in there, and it's like I got like the animosity was killing me. And I opened it up, and it was Bark at the Moon. No, Diary of a Madman.
Yeah.
2-disc box set.
Yeah.
I shit myself, dude. I looked around and was like, hey, y'all can come hang out if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All good.
But yeah, I opened that, and I like looked at them and was like, is this for me? Like, was this supposed to go to somebody else? And it was like, no, we think it's time, like you get introduced to this. And dude, I can't even tell you how many nights I spent just laying in my bedroom floor, holding this like Les Paul knockoff guitar, just looking up at the ceiling like, how does he even? Yeah. It was Randy, but I was like, oh my God.
I one of the first songs I learned on guitar, I was skateboarding with one of my buddies, and we went over to his house, and I had never been to his house before. And the first thing I seen in his room was like this white Fender Strat. I didn't know what that was at the time.
Yeah.
You know, but it was just like a pretty
guitar.
white guitar.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, can I play that? And he's like, well, I'm left-handed. I'm like, what does that mean? You know, he's like, well, are you right-handed? I said, yeah. He's like, well, you won't be able to hold it right, you know? And I was like, I don't care. Can I just make noise with it? So basically, I just kind of held it upside down, and he showed me the tabs to Crazy Train, but I was playing it upside down. And right then, I was like, I need to get a guitar. So I went home, begged my mom. She got me like this $80 no-name guitar off of eBay. As soon as it came in the mail, I had it flipped right side up, and I was playing Crazy Train.
Hell yeah. That was one of my first.
And then the next song, I was like, I got to learn Diary of a Madman. And I'm like, that is the worst song to pick for your second song to ever learn, because like
sure.
I didn't learn Crazy Train all the way through. I just learned the beginning riff. I was like, oh my god,
yeah,
you know. But then Diary of a Madman, it's like that shit is hard, and to this day that song is still hard to play. But the way I taught myself to play it, like, because your fingers are in all these weird positions, and you're doing all this alternate picking. When I would look at my hands, I would fuck up. So I just started turning off all the lights and closing my eyes. And I got to where I could just like memorize it and memorize
the patterns.
And now I can play that song very easily without looking at the guitar. But it's still to this day that song that made me really just want to play guitar and be a better guitar player.
Yeah,
it's just so cool.
Gus G's version of that is
I haven't heard
so good.
Gus G.
He was Ozzy's guitarist on Scream, that whole Scream album.
Yeah,
dude, he was. I don't know what happened there with like, there had to have been something, you know, that happened. But man, he was. I had always, Zach was like my idol, dude. Like Zach, Bam Margera, Stone Cold, and Tony Hawk was the combination of my being. And I knew Zach had left to do like Black Sabbath or to Black Label Society stuff, and was like, who's this Gus G guy?
So Gus G was after Zakk Wylde then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And dude, he has another band, Firewind. I think
I've heard that. I've heard that name.
Dude, he's from I think Greece, I think. But God, he reminded me of Randy a whole lot, like the stuff he did.
The thing that trips me out with Zakk Wylde is like the shit that he's playing and not even looking at his guitar and running around stage.
Yeah, hair going
how
one way,
do you just
beard
go
going
like
the
this?
other.
You know, like watching him play like speedball.
Yeah.
I'm like, on an acoustic. I'm like, how? It doesn't. My brain doesn't like compute that quickly.
That was the first thing I was like, I've got to learn this. Was his like speed bar pentatonic. I was like, I've got to figure out how to do this. And now, like, if you hear like Old 60 Live, that is 90% of what I'm playing is just speed bar pentatonic. I'm like, thanks, Zach.
Yeah, you're fun to listen to though, bro. I like watching you play.
I play a lot of the same stuff and just hope nobody notices.
Yeah, but you groove it though, dude. You know, you put a little bit of flavor, a little bit of different flavor into each part. You know, like on the Wish You Were Here video we did at my studio. Like, you took, 3 or 4 solos on that song?
Yeah.
And every one of them just had a slightly different little feeling and vibe to it, but it was all kind of in the same realm, you know? And it just helped the song, like, stay together, but also you got these different little pieces of each one that I really liked, man. It was fun watching you play that Martin.
Dude, I have so many, that guitar plays fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
I have so many people that reach out to me still and like, dude, we watch his video on that every single day. Like,
it's so cool, man.
I watch it quite a bit because it's
what I love is like it's a whole different sound from the original, but it's still true to the original.
Yeah.
But also in your guys' own way, you know.
We kind of came by accident. We were like, we need to throw another cover in there. We was doing High and Dry, by, is that Radiohead?
That's cool. Was that Radiohead? Yeah, Radiohead.
Is it Radiohead?
Yeah.
We're doing that, and people like some
or
people.
Is that no, that's Radiohead.
Is that Radiohead? Cover?
High and Dry. Yeah.
We were doing that one, and people, you can get a feel for a crowd, you know, like on how they're reacting to certain stuff. And we just never really, like, we all love the song, you know, but it was one of those things where it's like, man, the crowd really, like, it should, at the end of the day, it still matters, you know, what the crowd likes, you know, and was just jokingly one day, it was like, yo, I just want to do Wish You Were Here, and we set up at, I forgot where we even was, but during
Montana.
it was in Montana one day, and was doing a sound check, and was like, I just want to try that. And we did it, and I was like, Jacob, I don't know the solo. Like, I think everybody learns that first solo, you know. Yeah. But I was like, I don't know the solo, and like, I really liked. I'm gonna get a lot of hate here if this is posted, but I really liked the Avenged Sevenfold's version.
Yeah,
and I loved Pink Floyd's version, and it was killer. But I was like, as a scene kid, Avenged Sevenfold was like, hell yeah. And I remembered that solo, so I was like, what if I don't listen to it and I just think about, like, what I remembered I liked, what I thought I liked about that solo, and then just played it.
Yeah.
And then, so, like, the slides in it and stuff, I was like, all that came from
I've got it memorized, bro, just from editing it first off, but then I don't know how many times I've listened to it. That's in my regular rotation. Like, I grew up listening to Pink Floyd, one of my favorite bands. Wish You Were Here was one of my favorite songs. And when I play them side by side, I'm like, damn, you guys crushed it, bro. I mean, because, like, the original version, there was a lot of sloppiness to it, especially vocally and guitar. And, like, I remember one of the comments that somebody left was like, they're like, what the hell is this? There's out-of-tune guitars all over the place. And I'm like, listen to the original, bro.
Yeah.
Like, the same thing, you know? But I like that. I think it was Ryan's guitar was slightly out of tune, but it was like, it lets people know that it's real.
It's real.
It's like you guys literally came in, sat down,
right off the
jamming.
bus.
We just hit record on the camera. You guys played 3 songs and it was fucking magical, you know?
I'm really glad we have that, because I'm like, a bunch of the guys are huge Deadheads. And one of there's a video somewhere of Garcia. He got off the bus and was like, they got off the bus, went right on stage and started playing, and they was like, this is what the Grateful Dead sounds like right off of the bus.
Yeah.
I'm like, we woke up there, walked in.
Yeah, you guys got there like at 10 in the morning, got out of the bus, like all your guys' eyes were shut. You were sleepwalking, played some arcades, ate some pizza, and then just started playing.
I still don't remember what city or state that was in.
Gridley, California.
That was in California?
Yep.
Is that where you live?
Yep.
Damn.
So that show you played, Ace of Spades, in Sacramento?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I'm like 45 minutes away from there.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
That and Nutshell kind of happened the same way. It was like, was trying to think of a couple covers that we could do. And it got talked about and was like, yeah, well, we can learn it pretty quick. And we did it and got together and just jammed. Those are my favorite times, man, when we can all just get together and
just go.
Not worry about, like, obviously we got songs that we have to learn and put together and figure out.
It's nice when they organically just come together with nobody saying anything to each other. It just happens.
That Wish You Were Here, like, we practiced it and was like, damn, that was tight.
That was good.
And then it was like, you know what? Let's play it tonight.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Dude, that the C to D thing, I would look over at Kobe and me and him would both do it together. We would like go to C when we were supposed to go to D. And we would do it together for like 2 or 3.
About 5 times.
Yeah. It took a couple shows to get that.
There's a lot of chords going on in that song.
That's the beauty of like being able to solo in it though, dude.
Yeah.
If you stay in that E minor pentatonic, and then you can go up to A.
You can start drifting away because that progression is so wild.
Yeah.
You can do all kinds of different things.
Heck yeah. You want to check it out?
Oh, boy. Oh, that's dope, bro. I love it. Can you see this? Hold on, let me get up. I love it. That's dope. Hell yeah, brother.
Hell
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much for letting me do it, dude.
That was fun.
From watching your videos to jamming with you to tattooing.
Tattooing me. Yeah, let's go. Now you guys just got to rock the house tonight for me.
Hopefully.
Which I know you will.